Hey guys, ITFC 101 here again with my fourth episode of my Ipswich Town complete walkthrough on Football Manager 2011. Last time I show us getting through the second round of the League Cup. Now it's back to the day job and the league at home to Crystal Palace. I think I kept most of the same side, just switched Mark Wilson back to right back. Thomas Priskin and Jason Scotland still up front. I stuck with the 4-4-2 as I said I was going to because I'm at home. And it worked well against Stevenage. We scored 3 goals, so hopefully we'll be able to continue that into the league. Crystal Palace are a side that I normally have a trouble with on Football Manager, even though in real life Ipswich, I wouldn't say we have a good record, but we won there this season. We did the double over them this season. I went to their ground, not the nicest ground, but we take a great start through Thomas Priskin. I said last season that I'm not his biggest fan on the Football Manager series, but looks like he's going to prove me wrong, giving us the lead after 10 minutes. But yeah, Crystal Palace, we played there in August, and it's a really hard place to get to. The coach driver he had real trouble finding the stadium, and we actually got to the match 10 minutes late. So that's the only away football match I've ever been late to. Normally, when you go on official club coaches, they get you an hour and a half, an hour there early. So to be 10 minutes late was really rare. But, it wasn't the coach driver, so it's in the centre of London. So it's always going to be difficult to find. But we got there in the end and we got the win. So yeah, Connor Wickham I thought I'd talk about him. He in this game he's still injured, but he's an orange on the injury scale, so he will be back in the next couple of weeks, which is a huge boost. Although Jason Scotland and Thomas Priskin has been scoring quite regularly, which is a huge boost, especially when I mentioned in the first episode that the main problem with the Ipswich Town squad at the start of the Football Manager series is normally the strike force. And especially with Connor injured for 2 months at the start of that, I was really worried we got back up to a bad start, which we did with that defeat at Doncaster. But in the League Cup against Stevenage and in this game, we start to pick up the pace. Olivier Capo's been doing really well down the ring. And sorry for this lag. And every now and then there's a lag spikes due to fraps. I had real problems recording some episodes early today, and one episode totally fraps missed out, and I've had to only include highlights from that game, which is unfortunate as it's a pretty insane scoreline. So unfortunately there'll only be highlights of that match, but apart from that, Frap seems to be working really well. The quality's good. I hope you're all happy with the quality. I uploaded the first episode in 1080p, but that took so long to render and upload. I notched it down to 720p, and there's not too much difference. I still think the quality's really good, but if you'd rather me do it in 1080p, I'll happily take. Well, I wouldn't say happily, but I will do it for you guys. But it will add extra time to my upload time. And I'm having some trouble with the audio. I'm not really the best with technology, but I've tried to up my mic sound, and I'm not doing this commentary at 2 in the morning, so I'm not whispering. So hopefully the audio will be a higher level. I'm really enjoying doing this series, by the way. I'm having real fun playing. I haven't had much fun playing Football Manager in a long time, probably since my first playthrough. However, the file sizes are huge because I'm recording full games, which most of them are 10 minutes. So I can only have like 10 games recorded at a time. So I'm going to try and start uploading 2 or maybe possibly 3 videos a day. But definitely 2 because I need to get the backlog. I've got about 13 episodes recorded now. So I'm going to try and get them all done, and then before I start playing more, even though I am enjoying it. I've had one request for live commentaries, and that is something that I could possibly do if you'd be interested in that. So that is definitely something we should look forward to in the future as we make it 2-0 and Jason Scotland, so both of my strikers scoring. And that is always pleasing for a manager when both your strikers get on the score sheet. So 2-0 up before half time is pretty good, and we should be on our way to our first league win of the season. The Championship is a really good league to manage in. I always do my first save with Ipswich on any Football Manager game. After that, I normally do an England save, which is pretty boring to start with. But once the regens are regenerated players, made up players, made to improve the length of games. Because if you didn't have regens, normal games would be over after about 10-15 years. So when they come in, the international scene gets more exciting. So that's what I do next, and then I normally do a conference, a blue square south and north team, and try and get them as far as I can. I normally pick either Havant and Waterlooville or AFC Wimbledon, but and then I also sometimes will do a League Two side. This year I did Rotherham, managed to get them up to the Premiership in about 8 seasons. I'd like to say, maybe more, but that's what I normally do for Football Manager. I mean, this game easily lasts me a year until the next version comes out. So it's 40 quid, I think, at the start. I think you can get it 30 if you pre-order it in some places. And it's 30 quid, really well spent for me. As I said in the first episode, it's my favourite game, easily my favourite game. Especially those first 2 months when it first comes out. You've got all the new squads, all the new players. And it's just keep me occupied for months on end. I have no idea how many hours I've put into these games. I should look on my Steam account because it will say, so maybe I'll have a look and let you know what they are for the next episode. So yeah, it's my Football Manager history, what I like to do, but it's just such a great game. And as I see, I pick up an injury, Lee Martin, who has quietly been doing his job over this series so far. I just got to remember that this is only the third game. I've played about 16, so I've just got to, and I don't want to spoil all the results. So yeah, 2-0. A clean sheet would be nice. We haven't kept a clean sheet yet this season. We even lost to, we didn't keep a clean sheet. Doncaster, of course, conceded 4. We conceded against Stevenage, even though that was a cracker of a free kick. But yeah, a clean sheet would be nice. Martin Furlop is a top quality keeper. That's one thing that you, in old Ipswich days, that you had to go and buy straight away was a keeper. I mean, we only had, I think, Richard Wright. No offence to him, he's an Ipswich legend, but in this game he wasn't the best, especially a couple of years ago. So that's one we had to buy. But now we can concentrate on buying strikers and defenders, which is normally the problem. But however, I didn't buy a striker really, as I got Freddie Sears on loan, so I spent 1.3 million on Radskov, as you saw last episode. He hasn't played yet, but he will soon, and he's making quite a good impact. Mark Wilson's on loan as my backup right back, so I think I'm pretty safe on them positions. I've got 4 good centre halves with Radskov can play there. I've got Damien Delaney, Darren O'Dea and Gareth McCauley. So I've got pretty sort of centre half sort for midfielders with Bullard, Norris and Ledbetter. Colin Healy and Heim can come in if need be. And as you can see, I'm starting to go a bit more defensive as I'm just trying to hold for the 2-0. 2-0 I'll settle for just fine, especially after such a disappointing first game of the season at Doncaster. But as you can see here, we're still pushing. Of course, the tactical change hasn't come into impact yet, but a good save from their keeper Sproney, who is a very good keeper. Maybe, well, I'm not really interested in looking for keepers at the minute because, as I said, Fulop is one of the best in the division. Flick on from the corner, and Gareth McCauley manages to tap in from inside the 6-yard box, and 3-0 with 3 minutes left, and that is game over. A first league win of the season, and hopefully that is the first of many. 3 different scorers: McCauley, Scotland, and Priskin. So it's good to see a variety of scorers, and that is the end of the game. Final score 3-0, as you see there. 3 different scores, as I mentioned earlier. First league win of the season. And you can see in a minute the table after 2 games, although that isn't really the most important thing at this stage of the season after 2 games. It is nice just to get your first win on the board. I'll now look at the table. If I hurry up, there you go. So not too bad. Hopefully that'll improve after the next few games. See you later.